Yeah.
She won't break up her deck, obviously, but
Are you suggesting a forgery?
she is. The problem is, if Florica does it, or Koyana does it, the card will be known to them. Like, they'll know that this was made now as a forgery. Her, however, she thinks Edmont might be able to get away with it.
No, he can't. His card will have a little guy in it.
Yeah, probably.
Like, well, can you just do that? Have they seen the little guy? I forget.
Yeah, they did.
Koyana has.
Okay, let me know.
I'm talking about the three of them.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
saw it because Edmund showed them a picture of their Vargo and it had a little guy.
Yeah.
She was like, "Hey, who's a guy?"
So,
Evie
yeah,
has
that's
proficiency in forgery tools.
Well, I mean, Edmont has the. Edmont does have the art of the other Vardo in the yard.
I'll tell you what, I'll let Evie make the roll with forgery tools, and Edmont can just direct.
Yeah.
It's the side. Can I give the +5 on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably don't need it.
Saul, I saw that one. I got scared.
Yeah, I did too, but it's a 26.
You know what? Take the +5 anyway. It's a 31 now. They will never figure it out.
It's like the 40th 31 you guys have rolled.
Welcome
So yeah,
to being level
you
13.
paint using your forgery, using Edmont's direction. You paint a death card. You hand it off to Victor.
Would it be possible to compare to see if does it match the death card in Forika's deck?
You have no idea because they're not going to get their decks out now that they know that you're trying to steal their cards. Nathan Antoine tells you, the safety of this family is given to my charge, so you will not hold it against us if once I allow you back outside the fence, that you cannot be admitted again until we are made sure that they are safe. Yes?
That is agreeable.
Doesn't seem unreasonable.
So is there any other business you want to accomplish here before heading back, knowing that you won't be able to re-enter the camp, at least not as friends?
Jeannie is going to ask Koyana how the knife is holding up.
Oh, she tells you that she lost it in a game of chance.
Jeannie says, "What?" Jeannie's just like,
I gave her another one too when I was the fee for her when she gave me a tarot reading. Does she lose that one too?
No, she sold that one for coin.
like,
Wow.
You can't trust her with anything.
That was a great reaction. I enjoyed that a lot.
Like that was like a magical knife that Evie used to tell fortunes, and she like sold it for drinking money.
Like,
Well, traveling money. You know, she's a single woman all on her own out in the big bad world.
like, you've lost it in a.
She tells you she's never been particularly skilled at cards outside of the Taraka.
Fair enough.
At least she tries.
Can you tell me where you lost it?
I did just watch. I did just watch Clue this week, so I'm picturing Jimmy just like flames on the side of my just flames.
Yeah, that does sound in character. Yeah.
No, she doesn't remember who she lost it to or how long ago it was. She has no details. Just she was playing at cards and was
It's
out of
gone.
coin and.
I assume she sold it to someone who just ate it.
I just ate it. They use it as firewood.
The only thing Victor really wants to know before they leave is he wants to know more about this blood magic that she uses and what it can do and what the
She
costs
is
are.
absolutely not going to share her secrets about her blood magic with you at a moment in time where she's not sure you're not going to come back and just burn her camp down.
I am. It's like Jeannie's just like walking away. Evie, you see Jeannie, she has the most offended look you've ever seen on her face. Like,
Do you
this
know
is
how long it took me to make that knife?
like,
Evie puts her hand on her shoulder. It's okay, Jeannie.
she lost
Breathe.
in a game of cards.
Breathe. Breathe.
She lost in a game of cards.
It's okay. We'll make another one.
I did make another one. You've got it.
It's right here. It's okay. See,
I know, but like I put a lot of work in that first
I
one. Like,
take really good care of this knife. It's one of my most prized possessions. It's the one I used to kill the Lukaroo. You remember that? It was awesome.
No, it isn't. The one you used to kill the Loop Guru, she took.
No. That we gave it to her before that. She wanted it in case the fighting found her. The one I have now is the one I used to kill the Lukaroo. I named it Wolfbane. Evie likes to name her knives after things that it has done.
Victor
Jeannie
will,
tells you, she says, I still think your knife names are stupid. But she lost in the game of cards. And she just continues to walk away. She's just mumbling to herself at this point.
All right.
Victor will tell them thank you for their time, thank you for the food. Hopefully, when we return, we will all be friends.
I don't think
And
we're
then he
going to
will-
return, Victor.
And then he will give Koyana 5 gold and tell her to learn to play cards better.
Wow.
She smiles and pockets the gold,
Tell her she's always welcome back at Silverbow.
tucks it into her cleavage.
In the distance, you hear Jeannie go, she lost in a game of cards!
Ears, friends. Edmont turns and starts walking out.
Okay. Nathan Antoine escorts you back to the little fence area, parts it like a pair of curtains, tips his hat, bids you good evening, and safe travels.
Yeah, guess that's that.
So returning back down
Want
to the
some-
marshland.
I want some of their paints.
Oh, you should have said something.
That'll work, Evie.
They might have sold it, but what do you mean better work? I'll tell you what. I can do a divination and find out if it'll work.
No, you can. We will and will.
Why don't we resolve this, and then, like, when we come back, we'll be friends, and then we'll offer
Well, how about we talk to them about what was said?
We can tell them what happened. We can tell them that there's children there. That
don't
one of
think
them- they probably don't
I
care, but
don't
you
think
never
we give
know.
a rat's ass about that.
They might not. They may want to kill the kids, or they may not. I don't know.
Like, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to deal with this. Like, the people here in the Sulphur Springs are going to deal with this at all until the other thing is.
Well, what's going to happen is we're going to go back. We're going to tell them either we can persuade them to calm down, or she's going to insist that she comes here and she's going to get herself killed.
Well, then they
Because
might
I don't know
look at
about
us
you,
for not
but
helping.
I'm pretty sure this magic wall of bone is better than what she can do.
So you guys go back to the Vardo in the marshland, to the triplets, and you don't see a Bela, probably in the back of the cart. Lel is sitting on the actual back of the cart, watching his sister Leonoro just pacing back and forth. When she hears you coming, she turns in your direction like a cat poised to strike. Well, is it done?
What?
Orson's there, right?
Orson's still here, yeah, sitting on the back of the cart with Lel.
Okay, just making sure.
We weren't going to kill them in front of those children.
She looks to Victor. Is it done?
So about that. Victor will explain basically what happened. So they went there to investigate the camp. They were let inside. There were some children. There were some ox. There was a very powerful battle sorcerer guy. There was 2 of them. There was one of our old friends who was there. We talked a little bit about blood magic. This is what she claims happened. We're not entirely sure if that's true or not.
And you believed
know
her.
it.
She told filthy lies to you, and you took them in. Accepted them as truths.
Oh, we didn't accept them as true, but I would like to know from your own mouth, if you're willing to tell us exactly what happened that night.
What, the night that Abela's child died?
Yeah. And about this agreement that this blood mage allegedly has people sign.
Well, they didn't sign any sort of agreement. She tells you that their family arrived at the Imparteria Diana with many other families. That they went to sleep in their wagon. When they awoke, the infant was gone. And the O'Carrys had left. From there, it was easy to determine what had happened. They required an infant for blood magic.
What exactly did you see? Not what did you infer, not what do you think. What did
She
you
asks
actually-
Victor, "Did you get what I asked for?"
Victor will nod over at Edmont. He has it.
She approaches Edmont.
Hand her the card.
She takes the death card. Saunters back to the wagon, speaking something in Vistani, angrily under her breath. Disappears, climbs up into the back. Then it's tense outside for a few moments as nothing happens. After a while, the wagon parts. Abela and Yunoru climb out. Yunoru nods. Says, "All right. We'll camp here until sundown tomorrow. And then under cover of darkness, we'll make our way back up to the fence. And we'll see that the magic worked."
Magic.
She nods. Since once we've confirmed that it's worked, we'll continue on to Heidenglost, as promised.
And if it didn't work?
Then I'll know that you have deceived me. And you can find Heidenglost on your own.
So be it.
You dragged us into this.
Says Jeannie accusingly.
Yeah, so you dragged us into this. You, your sister conveniently left out the part where there were children in the camp. So you want...
At the mention of the children, Yonoru shrugs. Tells you they are Okari's children. They are evil. They have the blood of their parents. To lose them is no loss indeed. The world is better with that whole bloodline extinguished.
Is that what taking their death card will do? We'll go back and find them all dead.
They don't confirm or deny that. But as they're explaining this to you, as this conversation is taking place, Abela hands the death card off to Lel, who fishes a fresh nail from the back of the cart and hammers it into place along the others.
Victor will glance at the other cards and kind of wave his hand over them. And those death cards, are they from other families that have offended you?
Yunoru explains some that have given offense, some that have taken offense, some that have offended others.
And your solution to all these cases was to... Victor motions to the nailed up death cards. Deal with them.
Abela points out that death comes for everyone.
I gotta say, this makes you look like the blood mages.
Remind me not to get on your bad side.
So what do you guys do for the next day or so. Because they're saying they're going to camp here until sundown tomorrow. At that point, under cover of darkness, they want to go and see if the magic worked. So you have 24 hours to turn this boat back upright in some way.
I mean, there's not much we can do. One side is convinced the other, and it's like,
So Ekon can try and counsel their grief. The problem is when they go back, they're
well,
not going to find
they're saying
everything dead.
like the thing is we're going to I think Ekon, I think we should just outright confront not the sister who's crazy, the one that played the song.
They're both crazy.
I get that. Yeah, but like the story we were given is she approached them. My baby has a chill. Not all three of them, just her.
Yeah, no, we need
So
to
the story we got from the younger sister is that they went to bed, and the baby was gone. So, like, we need to hear from her.
Yeah.
This is a thing. Like, we need to hear from her,
Okay.
and we need somebody. Like, we need to, like, before you do this, before this is a thing, we need to know.
So you want to talk to Abela at some point over the course of the next day? Do you want to confront her immediately here with the other triplets present? Do you want to try to get her alone somewhere?
Preferably talk to her alone.
I don't think it matters, to be honest.
Well, and she may be intimidated by her sister.
I doubt that. I get the feeling she's in charge.
Has Victor seen either of these three so much as look at a Taraka deck of their own?
No, they have no need for one because remember, Abela has other ways of
She
divination.
plays the songs.
Yeah, but they don't have any. None of them have a Taraka deck.
Yeah,
No.
that's what he said.
Abela has skill in doing Taraka readings, but she doesn't as a matter of course.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they have no deck because if they have a deck, Victor is going to try and steal one of their decks.
You don't know if they have a deck or not. And if you ask them, she says no.
No, it's
So I guess the next question is: are you going to confront Abela here with the other triplets, or are you going to try to interrogate her alone somewhere?
Preferably alone.
Okay, it wouldn't be impossible. You just
I mean, yeah, Ekon's goal is to try and actually like get her to admit that her child is dead, like more like a grief counseling sort of thing rather than a like trying to confront her. Like he's just trying to get her to realize the situation.
okay.
like, I mean, if that's true, like, I want to hear her tell the story. Like, what does she say the story is? I guess we're doing her alone, away from her sister.
Okay, so that would be at some point tomorrow. There would be a moment where probably you could get Orson to take Yonora off, go off into the tracking, hunting, whatever, and then a moment where Lel is preoccupied with his oxen, and the five of you could confront Abela without interruption.
I think the big question here for her is, like, please tell us the story. Like, what happened? Like,
What actually happened?
yeah, because you're making us party to murder, and not just murder, but the murder of children.
She tells you that there's no need for her to repeat the story. Her sister already told you. Yonora recounted what happened last night. However, as she's explaining that, you can see that she's beginning to get defensive. Like you're putting her hackles up.
Victor will try and calm her down and put her at ease.
Look, I need to hear this from you. I need you to say it. It's not about us knowing. I need you to actually say what happened out loud so you can hear it yourself.
You're going to use your magics so that your
No.
God will tell you whether or not I'm lying.
No, he's not going to use magic. We understand this is complicated. We understand this is painful.
In any event, you don't trust us.
This is not a matter of trust. This is people's lives.
It's First off, you
Very
haven't told us anything, so we can't trust or distrust what you said because you've said nothing. But that aside, you are asking us to go kill children. We cannot do that based on hearsay of what somebody else said when you are the primary party. We
She
need to hear it
she
from your
smiles. She smiles sadly, and says, "If that's what you're worried about, then it is already done. The ritual is already placed." And she motions to the death card nailed to the side of her cart. They cannot
And
now
what?
be undone.
And what if we take the nail out of the death card and return it?
She welcomes you to do so.
Aside from that, I'm still killing these people isn't going to heal you. I need you to actually talk through what's happened to you first, because you're going to find yourself empty later, even if this does give you some momentary reprise.
She tells you that her siblings and their family is very small, and none of them are married or liable to have more children anytime soon. That the Vardo is a very fragile thing. She doesn't know if you understand the gravity of that. There are many Vistani in this world, and you've met one. Koyana was the last survivor of her Vardo, and now she just kind of drifts aimlessly. She's never going to have that family again. If you repeat what I tell you to my sister, it will be the end of our family.
You have our word, will not.
She doesn't know. When Saban was ill, we knew of Florica's dire magics, of her necromancies that she wields. But I thought, in a moment of weakness, that I should bring Saban to her anyway. Noro counseled me not to, and I didn't listen. And I should have. At least if he had died in my arms, I could have buried him.
Why did you lie?
She's saying that if Yonoro finds out that she took the infant to this blood magus to be healed, Yonoro would not forgive her for it, and it would cause the dissolution of their family.
What if we could convince her not to do that?
To convince her not to do that, you would have to repeat what I had said, and I was given your word that you would not. But now you know. This woman took my son and murdered him. And did God knows what with his blood and his organs.
That's not what you said. You told us just now that you took him to be healed.
And he wasn't. He was murdered.
According to the healer.
What was wrong with your... Like,
What was wrong with him? He took a chill in the middle of winter.
and
Do you not think it's possible that perhaps the healer just was not that good and the sickness overcame him? Is that not possible?
Fortunate reality of this land is that sometimes children die.
I know that it's easier to believe that he was murdered, but that doesn't make it true.
Somebody give me a persuasion check at
You might want
disadvantage.
that-
I'm buff, so it should be someone who actually has charisma.
I think that's only me.
I got a base 10 and a +5 persuasion plus my sonic die.
My persuasion is plus 12.
oof,
But
that's...
What?
Do you have reliable talent?
No. This is at disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
The minimum I can get is a 16.
You're trying to convince a mother who lost her infant son.
What if you flash of genius me? Because the minimum I can get is a 16.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do that regardless.
You can flash of geniuses. Is
Like,
it
that's
is it Victor or Evie doing the persuading?
I mean, with
it's
a
Victor.
disadvantage, it might be better to do Victor.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause he's got that dice.
Yeah.
I don't
And-
unless like, my reputations could come in here, but I don't think so.
So +5 to whatever this is.
Disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
13.
Plus
It's a little
5 is-
cocked, but it's 13.
That's a 27, and then your Flash of Genius makes it a 32.
Wow. At a disadvantage.
Reliable talent is bullshit.
It is.
She stays silent for a long while. Then she looks at the ground. She shakes her head. Says, "It doesn't matter now. Whether what you say is true or not, whether Yanora learns it or not, the ritual is done, and death has been seated amongst them."
What if my cousin can save them? He points to Ekon.
Well, god damn it, Veritas. Can't trust any of these shady adventurers to get anything done right. Well, I mean, do you explain what you had done?
No, what I'm wondering before I actually do this is, what if we say like Ekon can save them, and then look, they're alive. Ekon saved them.
I don't
I
think
was
they're gonna. Maybe.
I was thinking that too, actually.
That would require a deception check.
Go for it.
From Ekon?
From whoever's trying to sell her on this.
That's
Okay, yeah.
you got the bill of goods, man.
Yeah.
Is this advantage, disadvantage, what?
I guess that's what we're gonna go to before we.
Yeah, no advantage or disadvantage on this check. I mean, Ekon is known to be a miraculous healer in his own right.
Are we still under the influence of the?
No, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Okay, mine is +12, but Victor has reliable talent, so who's better at it?
Victor, because he's got the dice.
Okay.
He's got that
Yeah,
extra
the
dice.
psychic dice is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that sleep tonight.
I can give you a reroll if you blow it.
Okay. Unless we want to tell her the truth, do we want to tell her the truth?
Victor, you're committed to lying. You don't tell the truth.
No.
I think at this point we don't want to tell the truth.
So take a +5 to that.
All right, so that's gonna be a 24 with a +5, unless you want to let me reroll.
So you tell her that Ekon has ways to like dispel or disrupt this ritual.
Or tell her specifically that I have ways to go place wards on them that the ritual will fail.
Yeah, either wards, disruption, or worst case, he can bring them back to life.
I wouldn't say that.
We don't go that far.
Let's not let that genie out of the bag.
Okay.
Genie's not in a bag. She's standing next to you.
No,
The other genie's back in the village.
she was in a bag for a while though.
Oh, you're right.
He was in a tube for a while.
She was in a bottle.
Okay. So you're
Oh,
able
wait,
to
I'm
sell her
sorry.
on this story.
Hold on, wait. It's actually higher than a 24.
Jesus.
I forgot they had reliable talent. It's like 19.
Listen,
it's 29.
It's fine. It was a
Fine.
pass.
Bounded accuracy, 30 is the highest number.
You blew past her insight.
Okay.
She tells you that if you can stop this ritual, and as long as you give your word not to tell her sister, here's what she can offer you. She's not going to tell her sister the truth, and her sister's not going to let go of this particular feud. Aside from the fact that maybe technically Florica did not murder the baby, she is still performing blood magic rituals with the blood of children.
Yeah.
What you'll have to do is convince Yanoro that the ritual worked. The deception won't stick around forever, but it won't be uncovered until after they have delivered you to hiding losts. After this point, though, Victor, you in particular, will have known to have deceived and misused one of these Vistani families. It will become known that you are a person to be wary of amongst their number. And House Veritas will find their dealings with Vistani in the future to be less friendly on average.
And the alternative is we let, I won't say innocent, but people innocent of this particular crime die.
Well, they're not actually in any danger because you guys already
Well, yeah.
forged the ritual.
They are definitely not still there.
But if you can convince Yonora that the ritual went through and that they got their revenge, she won't actually learn that you've deceived her until after you've gotten what you want from their family.
I need you to tell me exactly what form this revenge is supposed to take.
It's a pretty gruesome answer. The way the ritual works, and this is going to color your impression of the triplets, I believe, is
It's been colored.
It's already colored.
it's a form of curse that works only on other Vistani, because only the Vistani are able to do divinations with Taraka cards. But the idea is you get the death card from a Vistana's Taraka deck. You do this ritual, and within the next couple of days, the curse inspires them in a way that is completely inescapable to end their own lives. In this case, they imagine those of the Okeri bloodline. The most ready way to do that is to throw themselves into these boiling springs. A gruesome end, but Yonora would have thought, and does in fact think, it's a fitting way for them all to all go out. All you have to do is convince her that that's what's happened.
Okay, so I say we send Orson out to get, like, you know, a boar or a deer or something, and we throw a couple of corpses in there. We mangle up the bones to the point that they're discernible as humans, which I should be able to do. And we let the other family know, and that they should get out of here, you know, under the cover of the night beforehand.
Well, the problem is they would have to leave all their things, including their Taraka decks, for it to be believable.
No, they threw themselves in there with it. We'll throw some random bits of paper and whatnot.
Well, if their wagon's gone, they're gonna suspect something.
They just need to go hide out until we pass, so that they can go back.
I don't know that they'd agree to that.
Well, we'll go ask them. We'll go tell them what's going on, and then they can make the choice if they want to do it or not.
And if they say no,
Well, then either we're going to be stranded or someone's going to die.
At this point, I think we just have to like make peace with the potential that they're just going to strand us here. But I think that's a possibility. I mean, like, you know, like we get stranded. I think we've all been, like, if we cared about that,
Yeah.
we would have just done it, right?
I told you to let me do a divination to see if giving them the card was a bad idea.
It would have said will and woe.
No, I think in this case he would have said whoa.
Saul seems pretty confident.
Well, not really, because that wasn't their card. It would have just said wheel and woe.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been whoa because they would have known we were lying.
Well, we will because we won't let people live. Anyway. Yeah, so at this point, like, the best we can do is go tell them what's going on. The issue that Victor's concerned about is by doing this, we are going to destroy our own reputation, which is going to make it potentially hard to get back.
I think we should just. Do you have sending prepared?
Yeah.
I think you should reach out to Koyana. It'd be like, Koyana, like, we have.
Oh, Victor was just going to walk back over there and tell him.
Like, well, I want to make sure, just let them know we're coming. Like, Koyana, we're on our way back. Like, I think Koyana knows us well enough that if Ekon gives his word that we won't do any, like there'll be no violence, and
We found a solution that doesn't involve violence.
like if Victor says there will be no violence, you kind of gotta expect violence. If Evie says there will be no violence,
That's a bold-faced lie.
but what I'm saying is like if anybody but Ekon says it, it's like 50-50 chance, right?
Yeah.
But like Ekon,
Ekon's gonna burn Victor. What are you talking about?
so we're gonna yeah,
I can do that.
like we're coming back.
I'll set up a sending, basically conveying, hey, they were trying to put this curse on you. We can end this peacefully if they think it worked. Do you have a solution to make that happen?
Yeah, Koyana responds to the sending that they can certainly make it look as though they've thrown themselves into the pool, or she can make it look as only she's done it, and then you can just claim that she's the one who gave you the death card, not realizing it would only affect her and not because she's not a member of this family.
I think that leaves room. I'll cast another sending. That would leave room for other bits of vengeance to come up at a later time. I think making it seem final might be more.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, because even if they do that, as soon as they find out they didn't work in their back, they're still gonna be violent. So that's not actually a thing.
But yeah, for their part, they can make it look like either the whole family was the target of the ritual or just Koyana at your discretion.
I think Koyana is, but I think Koyana doing this is actually a better choice, to be honest.
It is
Because-
the problem with Koyana doing it though is then they're gonna want to stick around and try and kill him.
We might be able to talk them
We
out
can
of it.
talk them down from that.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, Koyana's what she's saying is that she'll make it look like she has killed herself in these springs. You can just claim that, oh, we didn't realize she wasn't a member of the family. And then, of course, once they saw that Koyana had done that, they left immediately.
Yeah.
So the end result of that being something like Yanoru is upset that she didn't get vengeance, but it wasn't House Veritas's fault.
Right.
Yeah, let's go with that, and then worst case, if Koyana reappears, we can say Ekon brought her back to life.
Well, they don't know who Koyana is.
Yeah, I don't know how well Koyana actually is.
Yeah. I think this has less potential for collateral damage because
Yeah,
it
let's go.
doesn't damage our reputation with the Vistani as badly.
Yeah, let's get Koyana to take one for the team.
Yeah,
What if I
think,
tell you that the two Okiri children are worth 5,000 experience points apiece if you guys chuck them into the springs?
I wouldn't do it.
No.
No,
A long way to level 15.
we're not like. Listen, even at our worst, we have
We
never
are
been
not that
murder.
murder hobo.
We have never been murder hobo. You never go full murder hobo.
Right, you don't. That's too bad. So what do you tell them that you're going to fake that you've got the death card from Koyana's deck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems like a good thing. And then, like, Koyana, I think, like on the way, like, are we going there? Because we told them we were going to go there, right?
Right.
We told so
You
we
guys
go
can-
there.
I mean, you guys probably can't travel there by yourselves without arousing suspicion with the triplets.
Right. So, like, yeah, we tell them to make that work, and then I guess we should, like, Jeannie kind of whispers to everybody, like, I think we need to tell Koyana we owe her a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Like, yeah, we owe you a
We owe
favor.
you one.
Yeah, we owe you a favor for this.
She agrees. Like, that sounds reasonable to her.
Yep. Like,
You know what she really wants?
Another dagger.
One of those beautiful daggers that you had crafted. She
yeah,
quite
sure.
You did this to yourself.
Yeah. What if instead we teach you how to play cards?
That's a good one. I am proficient.
Uh,
If she wants a wood steel dagger, I do have a spare one.
So you're coming to visit their camp before it all goes down, or are you just waiting until the next night when the triplets are going to go look up to the camp?
yeah, I think the plan
Sure, yeah.
is I think the plan is like what she was saying, like make it look like one person got thrown in, and then
Like, oh, this was the wrong card.
yeah, and it was just the wrong card. One person was thrown in, and then they said, "Oh no, this is bad. Let's leave."
Okay. So the next night, the triplets drive their wagon north out of the swamp towards the red clay pools. When you arrive, the fence is now gone. The wagon is gone. The oxen are gone. What you find is a bleach white human skeleton near to where the camp was, where the fire pit had been dug. And badly torn and badly stained, presumably with blood and melty flesh, one of Koyana's dresses. Predictably, Yonoro is upset at this. But as it comes out, there was no way that you could have known that this woman was not in their family and that her death card was not going to give them the desired results. And so their cycle of vengeance continues.
Aw, shucks.
I mean, it's better than just agreeing with them that you should come up here and kill all these guys.
This is about the best outcome we could have.
So,
Yeah.
the monster that I had planned, if you were going to have to fight here...
Did you think we were gonna fight children?
I mean, I thought there was a good chance this was going to explode into combat. Yeah,
I guess Ekon or Destil has murdered children before, so I guess that's fair.
But you guys
Like, when you
remember...
met our party?
You remember the good old Bone Swarm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have another one of those?
I had 2 of them on this map, but you didn't have to fight them.
Ah,
Brick Road, like, no, that's like that would have been 3 campaigns in a row.
Yeah.
You can't. You have you put the book down.
But what's great about this one is the Bone Swarm can engulf you so you're grappled and then move down into the hot spring.
No, Brick Road.
that's fun. I like that.
For, what do they have? 8d6 fire damage?
You need to calm down. you need to take a step back and reevaluate.
Oh, you didn't want to fight the Bone Swarm? Is that what I'm hearing?
Man, I don't have any. I can't complain because you saw that stupid monster I made.
Evie claps. She, puts her hand on everyone's shoulder and says she is very pleased that we were able to resolve this without bloodshed, and she doesn't want to think too hard about where Koyana got that skeleton. She's just gonna assume that everything worked out.
Then there's
I'm sure the Blood Mage has spare bones in her cart.
and then
She
there's
probably
there's a cheesy outro sitcom riff. Executive producer Evie Veritas.
Dick Wolf. Dick Wolf.
Well,
And just remember, the whole time before this session, Brick was going on about how D&D players just want to kill stuff. It's all combat.
I think we have, yes, indeed.
Yeah, we
Who's
resolved the
that
whole section
stereotyping,
without
correct?
any fighting. What now, Brick Road? We won. We beat you.
I can bring the Bone Swarm back.
Yeah,
How's
so
the
we're
leg,
gonna
Solitayre?
The real
So,
combat was
the
against
rest of the
deer.
journey.
Talk shit, get hit. This,
To-
this situation here.
The rest of the journey to Heidenglost is very somber. Yonoro is no longer cheerful and talkative. Abela has difficulty even making eye contact, not only with you, but with her sister as well. They dutifully bring you through the mists. The last leg of your journey takes place across what can only be described as a hellscape. A plain or a small hilly wooded area that has very recently been horrifically burned. A
Yeah, I
field
wonder
of
how that
fire at some point in the very recent past.
Is it still dark on?
Oh, yeah. After bringing you through the mists, the triplets, they don't have much gratitude to offer you, and they were doing this pretty much on a favor
Yeah.
that Victor had called in. And with that, they
Evie
take their
will-
leave of you.
Evie will, before they leave, she will, in private, say to Abela, have faith in your sister. The bonds between sisters are not so easily broken. Remember that.
Victor will.
Whoa, hold on. They're leaving us here? How are we gonna get home?
That's our problem.
Yeah, that's a
That's
you
a
problem.
Before they leave, Victor will tell Avela that if she ever needs a place, she can always go back to Silverbow.
Evie,
Mhm.
you tell Abela that the bonds between sisters are not so easily broken. In response, she sings you the refrain that Jeannie had paid for about how you placed a weapon under your sister's unconscious body and killed her with it.
And
And
we
then
are
she-
still sisters.
Wow.
Evie's response is like, yeah, and she's
Yeah.
still here, isn't she?
Evie's like
Oh, the
slurping.
ears, la 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 la.
She's proving my point.
She's like slurping from just a giant cup of copium.
I think
Getting the lay of
it's
the
like
land.
An iron lung of copium at this point.
Getting the lay of the land out here. It is not unpopulated. However, the population does seem to be exclusively bands of red-robed cultists.
Ah, Christ.
You learn directions to Heidenglost fairly easily, and you become aware that a very a ruined village just at the base of this tower, which, remember, was supposed to be this terribly haunted place where armies of undead had been laid to waste very recently by Chrisen. The rumor is that you gain knowledge of, for some reason, the men in charge of this new religion here have forbidden them from building anything up. So the ruins are still ruined and offer very little in the way of shelter. However, they would indeed be quite dangerous to approach without a good plan. So before you get to the tower proper,
Is it
You were
planning
going-
time?
you're going to have to put together a reconnaissance plan to scope out the ruined village.
I can disguise us as cultists. We have a bunch of robes.
I can cast Find the Path, assuming that this spell focus has ever been inside that building.
That's about trace.
Yeah, we have a lot of options.
Yeah, we have a lot of things.
Okay, so what's being done?
Oh, like right now, you want us to do this right now? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought we were like,
Yeah, that
Getting
was like
ready
I could
for next session.
disguise us as cultists. I think
Okay.
that's a good idea.
So the 6 of you are going to put on cultist robes?
Oh,
cast-
we should do
as
some
a start.
scouting before we do anything else.
Well, you know what? When we approach, that's what we can do.
why don't we just summon rats?
To do what?
Right?
That's not
So
what I was expecting he was going to say.
Well, we have familiars. We all just summon a rat, send it in, and see what they have to say.
I don't know what Lulu is licking right now. What are you doing?
There are. She's licking a rat.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you know, this is a peasant village, right? Even rats.
This is an ancient ruined village that has not been occupied or used. Remember, these kind of ruins pop up sporadically across Darkon from time to time.
Do we actually know where the tower is? We're just finding it part of this.
I mean, if you get close enough to see the general layout of this village, like from a hilltop nearby, you can see the tower in the distance behind it. But there's no way to access it without coming through here first.
Does it
So
look
we
like the
just-
Crystal Tower of the Legends, or does it look like an evil Barad-dûr?
Or does it look like the lighthouse?
Looks like a huge, bizarre tower made of crystal. If it wasn't the middle of summer, you could almost swear it looked like it was made out of ice.
I think we should. I'm okay with the plan of like going into the village disguised. We just all just come up with like, you know,
We just have to
fake
walk
identity.
through
We
the
just pretend like we're other people. and-
Well, we can get the lay of the land first, and then we can start milling about to gather information.
So what are you doing to get the lay of the land?
I like rats. That's a good idea.
Yeah, Rats is fine.
Pass without trace on himself and anyone else who wants to scout.
Yeah, Edmont's also really good at this. He can
Okay.
be invisible.
Yeah, let me.
Like,
I mean, I can cast scryings on specific locations.
yeah.
Pass without
Edmont.
trace is probably the best choice because invisibility only lasts for a minute.
Oh, it does? I thought it lasted.
Oh, it lasts for an hour.
Oh, an hour, but
But I think being hidden, I think not overly relying on magic to hide you is probably smart.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can pass,
I mean,
you can pass without trace, and they still have to actually be able to see you. Whereas if you just
Yeah,
are
exactly.
invisible, a see invisible spell goes right through it.
Yeah.
Why not? Porque no los dos.
Yeah, we probably have the spell slots for both now.
Yeah, because I can cast invisibility.
I can only have one. I can only have one up at a time.
I know
So-
I can cast
Personally.
invisibility on you.
Well,
Edmont,
the problem is if you're invisible and somebody sees you, now you're suddenly suspicious.
Here's
Edmont,
something I could do. I could do clairvoyance at like a mile in the air and just scope everything.
so who's approaching? And are they invisible
Yes,
or are
it's
they
me.
passing on? So Edmont, you're approaching with pass without trace. Are you invisible while you do this?
I can cast it if you want it.
Okay.
Okay.
So yes, he is
Yeah.
invisible.
Is he alone?
I'm not going in there.
Are you guys sending familiars with him?
Victor wants into a rat.
Okay.
I think sending in like some combination of like rats and spiders and other like small critters might be good.
Okay. So Edmont,
Sure.
your job now is to sneak up towards this ruins, kind of get the lay of the land, figure out what's going on. All you know for sure is that the cult is operating out of here. This territory was the purview of an impenetrable army of undead. That's the story that you had heard. Chrisen came in, burned everything, and claimed it for himself. So that's the knowledge you have as you approach.
Okay.
As you come towards approaching where the boundaries of the village would be, the place is bustling, more or less like any village might. You see where they have gardens, scraped here and there, what meager ones they can. The paths, though, rather than being dirt and stone, are ash. The stones are blackened with fire. None of the trees are green, despite what you might see on the map. And it is a lovely map, again, by Afternoon Maps. What's funny is both of these maps came from the same spot, but I didn't, download them together. I found them
Okay.
independently of each other. So it's fortuitous. Edmont.
Sure.
And those of you who sent familiars down.
Mhm.
The thing that really gets your hackles up about this environment and what you have not seen since arriving in Darkon. In fact, it's a sight that used to be common in your lives back in Brennanine, particularly near to the lake, on the lake or at the shores. Since arriving in Darkon, you have associated mists with being barriers, walls, opaque. It's actually very, very uncommon, if not completely unheard of, for just a fog bank to roll in across the lands. However, Edmont, as you approach this village, the mist is thick on the ground, roiling. It's actually difficult to move through it without giving your position away. And for some reason, this gives you more cause for concern than any amount of the evil you know awaits you in the village or the tower beyond.
And yeah, I'm gonna. I assume that Victor's created a telepathic link.
You can assume that next week when we pick the session back up.
Okay.
Okay.
Kristen might be approaching Dark Lord status.
I doubt that.
Yeah, so you guys managed to not trigger my emergency bone swarm.
The emergency bone swarm. You just, in case of emergency, break glass bone swarm.
I'm going to award everybody one blip for successfully navigating Vistani politics without having to overtly betray either party or having to resort to violence. Very well done.
Children, you mean?
What's that? We did a session with Al Violence Brick Road.
We do that regularly. It's fine.
We've done a few of those.
Stop poking the bear, Saul.
So,
Okay.
I have, because Saul is poking the bear, I have to clarify the discussion he's referring to is not, man, I really hate it that my players always use violence. It was rather, D&D as a game is designed around combat to the point where violence is always going to be an option.
That's true. Yes.
It's almost
Yeah.
always the correct option.
In
too.
30 years of playing D&D, I have never had an adventure that could not be solved with violence. And players very often will use violence in those situations.
I feel like there were a couple in, especially in Flumphscape, where it was very
Flamescape.
clear that violence would not avail us.
Yeah.
I think there was a few of those in the first campaign as well, but Planescape especially, I feel like, I mean, I don't know if you were just lying, but like it was obvious that we would be immediately incinerated if we were at low level when against, say, a Baylor openly.
Yeah, there was
Like,
there were a few scenes like that, yeah. But like in those scenes, the decision to not use violence was predicated on the idea of we're not going to win that way, rather
Obvious
than
Liberation in the Devil Bar leaps immediately to mind. That's a good session.
Anyway, Saul, I am going to make sure that you get your fill of combat since you so desperately want it.
He's like 16,000 XP to level.
Everything terrible that happens in the next dungeon is Saul's fault. I just want all of you to know that.
All right.
They were gonna blame me anyway. Let's be real.
It's,
So you were gonna blame yourself, and nobody was gonna argue.
It's possible for multiple things to be true.
I think we did get through all of the adventures of this campaign without anybody getting into a fight with the Vistani at any point. So that's to be commended.
Yeah.
well, the Vistani haven't really antagonized us. They've taken advantage of us, but it's never been covert taken advantage of. It's like it's been very in your face, which I guess all of us respect. Like, yeah, okay, I respect the hustle. Like, yeah, you're charging us you're charging us double the price for food. Yeah, okay, sure, give us the food.
That's fair. All right, so I'm going to go dark for just 2 seconds. While my dog is acting very weird. She's licking furniture that, I don't know, maybe she's about to eat my
Furniture's
wallet. Where's my, I actually haven't seen my wallet. Maybe she ate it.
My dog ate mine, so
Gross. See, I'm going to go dark for 2 minutes and see what Lulu wants, and I'll be back, and we can do a whole bunch of blips.
who's most creative today?
That would be. I want to give that to.
I would like to nominate myself for attempting to resolve a situation through grief counseling rather than a combat or trickery or fast talking.
Yeah, I'm down for
Yeah.
that.
I think we're all on that
How does
side.
that make you feel? Okay. Next up,
Party goals.
Victor.
Yeah.
Victor for 100% Victor.
Like, listen, I know we make fun of Victor all the time for listen, Victor, stop. That's because you say incredibly dumb things, but
Of course.
occasionally you roll. Like, you're just at the point you're at peak rogue where everything you roll is a 30. So
We're using that to our advantage.
yeah.
Who's a badass?
Let me think here.
Koyana.
I kind of want to give that to Genie for not letting any rolls ever fail.
Yeah.
That feels more like
Yeah,
intangible.
Flash Genius for the badass.
I'm gonna give intangibles to. So I don't know. Like,
I want to
wanna
give
give it-
intangibles. I want to give intangibles to Genie for the whole dagger thing.
Yeah.
Why not both?
I wanna gi-
Los Dos.
I want to give Evie a blip for fight. Like, we could do badass because she snuck in the. Like, I could do that. She snuck in like a critical roll. Like, I could do this with my my forger's tools.
Yeah,
Trying to
yeah,
sneak it- trying to sneak that in all campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Like
you
we've had so every single time we've had better options than those that forgery kit. Like, whether it's been magic or just Edmont painting, right? And the one time Edmont couldn't paint something because he had shown them the little man in the straw hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, there it was.
Yeah,
So who
I'll
wants
go
to-
with even for badass.
Who wants to make a case first?
I can go.
Genie.
Try to be neutral. Try to be better than I was yesterday for Jeannie's refusal to kill even potential murderers in front of their children.
I mean, the children themselves are just potential murderers as well.
They can still change.
Like if their parents are murderers, it stands to reason.
Anyway, like it's possible. We had the whole like halfling, so some kind of halfling, I guess, village singing "Happy Birthday" and the kids stabbed us. That's possible.
Yes, the Kavari.
My ideal practical solutions to impractical problems for just telling everybody, like, reach out to Koyana, like we're on a good relationship with her. Like, she could. I know we were kind of forcing Koyana to be kind of in the middle there, but that's because, I mean, she's the closest thing we had to an ally in that situation.
Okay.
So make use of her. And now we owe her a favor. Like, that's fair. Flaw, don't worry about it. It was just a setback. Hey, Koyana, what do you think about these fools?
You think these guys look like murderers to you?
Do they look like murderers to you? I didn't parse that we were so close together. I meant that to be a kind of a side thing, but I get, I'm like, well, yeah, I guess. Like, Genie was not in a good headspace, and she's not aware at the best of times.
No, you had it right. You embraced your inner victor.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was having a bad day. End the video.
Who's next?
I can go.
Evai.
Who's Evi?
You are.
Okay. Aspect. I will do my duty, but I will always be true to myself for wanting to navigate the Stonic situation without coming to bloodshed, without knowing any of the facts. She resolved to unravel the truth of that situation, and we did. I must become a leader for others can believe in, for floating the idea of making an alliance with Kristen against Aslan Rex. Which probably is not going to go anywhere, which leads into her flaw no one understands, for everyone else being like, after spending all this time, oh, Evie, you just don't ever want to make friends anywhere.
But Evie, they wear red clothes.
Like,
I mean, they did send suicide bombers against our people, so, you know.
Evie, do we need to explain Team Fortress 2 to you? We're the blue team.
Evie,
those team.
those sneeches don't have stars upon theirs.
Evie's still going to try, though.
Who's next?
I can go.
I'm the
Victor.
engineer.
Alignment, whatever it takes. That would be offering the triplets the opportunity to go enjoy themselves about town, to make sure our relationship was positive.
Yeah, it
That
only
worked out
resulted in one murder.
Yeah, that worked out well.
Yeah, that whole scene was completely improvised. It was just like, all right, well, we're doing this now.
Ideal, seek the truth no matter the cost. That would be asking for a song about his death and knowing it was a bad idea. It's okay, Ekon. I'll just never get close to you again.
Uh-huh.
Oh, don't worry. I have a text file. The only purpose of this text file is to remind me of what your various failed horror check obsessions are. So those will be fun.
For values knowledge over people, for the flaw, that would be suggesting that the murderer's wife gets sent to live with the Keltistravi. They could take care of her.
Go stand in the. You should still be in the corner for that.
I think Victor values cold breakfast meats over people. Like the list of things he values is a lot of things, and people was maybe 138.
In his defense, most of the people he's met so far have just sucked.
All right, who's next?
I can go.
Edmont. Oh,
I have my ideal life as my canvas, and I will make my mark on it for ruining the initial plan to fake a death card by drawing and showing them my little man.
I mean, to be fair, you didn't know you were ruining any kind of plan when you did that at first. It's just.
I know, but still. I have my flaw. This world is filled with predators and prey, and I sure as hell am not the prey. For kind of just walking into their sulfur pond camp, kind of like you own the joint.
Okay.
And my alignment, lawful evil, blood runs thicker than water, my own blood thicker still. For being willing to go and scope this place out on his own, basically.
Okay.
This creepy ass place.
Yeah, what does Ekon have for me?
I've got my alignment, lawful good, the shining words of air lay down a path for us all for it's not a formality, it's following the law over the trial. And I've got my flaw. I'm sure there has to be something good just over the next hill for attempting to counsel this Vistani through their grief rather than allowing them to just go through bloody vengeance.
I mean, bloody vengeance is just kind of part of the Vistani way of life.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of pictured like the death card curse thing. Like when you first described it, I was thinking that movie Thinner. You know, like where like at the end when they eat the pie, like the concentrated pie, and then he goes and looks at his ex-wife, and she's just like turned inside out.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you've never seen Thinner? It's not a very good movie.
Who had the most creative solution to a problem this week?
It was Ekon for
Grief counseling.
Grief counseling.
Good.
A solution that I don't think we've tried before.
Who did the most to further the party's goals?
Victor for kind of running the show.
Victor.
We let him run the show despite our better judgment, but we managed to come out the other side all right.
He does know the
So-
Vistani pretty well.
Victor still puts his foot in his mouth, but like mechanically, all that does, Brick Road, is give him disadvantage on the roll. So, but the thing is he's a rogue, and he's hit peak rogue.
You
Right?
guys get to roll.
Yeah,
I believe it's pronounced Rogue.
he's hit peak rogue you. So like he's got reliable talent, and he's got a psionic dice, and then when I'm standing there, it's another +5.
So what you're saying is I should stop letting Victor roll for things.
I'd be okay with that.
Who was the badass this week?
It was Evie for the forgery kit.
Or like that, I've had it on my sheet the whole campaign. I'm going to use it for something.
And finally got it.
She bailed me out of my. She bailed me out of my great idea, which would have failed, which would have executed terribly.
And what about intangibles?
That was Jeannie for getting so upset over her dagger.
That was funny.
I cannot believe, like, the pure. I think I was offended at how happy Brick Road was when I asked.
Would you be
That's
even
what-
happier to learn that she was lying? She just hid the dagger because she didn't want you to take it back.
See, that makes me happier, to be honest.
Unfortunately, our straw poll this week goes to Edie. I don't know who Edie is.
Does
But-
that mean no one gets it?
It goes to,
Exactly.
to Edie.
He gets it.
Okay, so Edmont. You had 5,
Sure.
you earned 4. You're rolling over at least 3. Do you want to come in next week with 6? Next week we will be going into dungeon, probably.
Let's see. So you said 666 is blips.
We're what, level 13?
Yes.
Yes, 666.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going in with 6, but I just do some math on mine.
Okay, Ekon, you had 4 and earned 4, so you're rolling over at least 2. Do you want to come in next week with 6?
Yeah.
All right. Evie.
Yeah, I'm coming in with 6 as well.
Okay. Evie and Jeannie both had 6 and earned 6. And Victor had 6 and earned 5. All right, when we come back next week, we will see about this horrible, ashen, mist-covered, ruined village filled with fire cultists.
Yay!
It'll be a fun time.
fine. We'll talk to them.